going to do a portrait sketch today in pastel pencils. These are Derwent Pastel Pencils. I just bought them this week just to give them a go, and I don't mind the colours so far. I like the colours that they have to choose from. I've had a bit of a problem trying to sharpen them. I think the difference between the Conte Apari and the Derwent ones is the Conte Apari are a bit thicker, so when you sharpen them with a knife and a bit of sandpaper, there's less chance for breakage. Well, like these are both new pencils. Haven't used them yet, but you can see the amount this one broke. This one also might have fallen in the shop at some point, so there could be little breaks throughout it. But I had a very difficult time with this one, and yeah, we'll see how they go so far. I think if I recall, with the Derwent ones, they're a bit more scratchier than the Conte. So let's just see how we get on. I'll always just start off with the gesture. I'm going to use this, which is a lighter blue, kind of a darker purple, and then either the white or this colour, but this colour seems to be a bit maybe too similar to the ground that I'm working on at the moment. So let's just continue here. Again, I'm just going to find the gesture, which is the length, or is the kind of like the direction of the face, and then we'll start with the brows, and we'll mark off the nose. The eyebrows are a little bit raised, and we're not really looking too down, maybe more down than up on this head, but for the most part it's fairly like straight on. And then let us find where the chin is. I'll mark it over here for now. These pencils are in the way a little bit. And next bit, I'll just try flowing myself around this drawing a little bit. I won't be super duper accurate about it. Just make simple shapes and design from there. To get the underneath of those brows, just to get the good shape of them. Some sort of idea for the nose. Maybe that's the space between the upper lip and the nose, maybe a little bit further down. I don't want to overwork this piece either, because with pastel, you know, there's only so much layering you can take, and it heavily depends on the surface a lot of the time. This is Strathmore 500 series charcoal paper, so it should be fairly okay for it all. I haven't used it in actually quite a while, so we'll see how it works. And it is, I suppose, meant for charcoal more than anything, but it has all the grooves and stuff. It's the charcoal and pastel, a fairly similar feeling. I think you need to put that chin down just a little bit, maybe around here. I might have tilted that head slightly too much, did I? Or is it kind of heads up that way a little bit more? Yeah. Maybe yeah, okay. And then we'll mark out where the eyes are going to be, which are somewhere around here. Let's try find some other areas. Maybe I'll use the actual like shadows to find some shapes. We don't always have to work with just forms. I mean, light is telling us everything anyway. So we can find like the space between each shadow, and that can inform us of where we're going. Like this big shape can be where that cheek starts to turn. Did I find the end of that lip? I'll say that's it there. And then I feel like I'm getting a little lost. Actually, did I define the shape a little bit more maybe? Just so I know where I'm going. If that's that, then this has to be the top of that lip. Okay, yeah, sure. That's fine. Let's draw the rest of that nose in just a little bit more. Maybe I should have went on this quite loose. Actually, did I say that was the middle of my eye, so maybe I need to go a bit higher? Or how do I feel about it? If that's top of that nostril, bottom of that kind of like eye bag is around here, or actual eyeball is around here, then maybe my eyes are around here. Okay. That's not too bad. These are going a bit more down, I think, that way. Just covering that shape. And there, I think we've got a good shape of the eye there. So then my eyebrows are really starting up here. This is the space between, around this area. Actually, I wonder if I should have drawn with the darker pencil. So right now I'm kind of marking a lot of shadow shapes. I said that's the nostril, that's the shadow of that nostril. Maybe it comes down a bit more like this. Yeah. We're slowly finding our way around. It's actually quite hard to draw a tilted head like this on the pencil on the paper, but we shall find our way around as we go. Just working with each shape I can find. Not necessarily, like I know this is the chin, but I'm actually working with the shadow shapes that everything is creating. Where are we going? Find the rest of the head. And maybe I'm too focused in on just the features, and maybe I should just go back and try find the rest of the full of the head. The full of the head? Just the rest, just the head itself. If that's my chin, that's the shadow shape, then the chin starts turning in around here, I think. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's find that ear. Sure that's okay. Is that the bottom of that ear? Yeah, that's not too bad. Where are we dancing to next? That's that. Where's this? This is supposed to be the eye bag here. Yeah. And if you're wondering, this reference image is from Croquis Cafe, which is a great resource. I think it's like only like 30 quid for the year, and you get just an absolute ton of reference images and reference videos to work from. It's dead handy. It's more my brow there, isn't it? Make sure I'm finding everything correct. Just kind of as I'm going throughout this portrait, I'm just fixing my proportions as I go. As I get new information, you can make more informed decisions. Where's that neck? Maybe I should get the other gesturing of that neck. Probably heads in like this. Not too bad so far. Kind of just letting, at this point, my pencil just kind of flow around the page to find things. So with the tilted head, it's difficult enough, so I just need to throw stuff down and see if anything shows up and is striking me. That must be that ear, which means that must be end around there. That's that ear there. We need to find the top of that head. This is what I did for that ear earlier. Got a nice negative shape to work with, and then we'll head up on the skull and then just do a big, we'll just put in an area for it for now. We can fix it later if it's wrong. Okay, not too bad. Now I'll fix up that. And maybe we get just the idea of that big shadow shape. Okay, to make this stick out a little bit, I need to start pulling in the shadows, just to have it a bit more three-dimension to it. And right now I think with the blue that I've drawn, it's fairly close. It's not too, like, it's fairly close to the actual tone of the paper, so I need to be a bit clearer with things. So I'll go in with the darker pencil now. Now with the darker pencil, all I'm going to start doing is just popping in my big shapes. Now it's been a while since I've done like a proper, not a proper pastel portrait, but just like, actually going through and using multiple colours, I suppose. A lot of times I just stick with the one. I just like the way a pastel pencil feels to draw with. Now we can start designing a little bit more. Every time you move to your next step, you want to be, you can like correct each thing you put down earlier, Am I gonna put this upper lip in the darkness? Yeah, I might do. Bits of it anyway, not the whole thing. actually compared to, I don't know, maybe it's the paper, but actually compared to the Conte, the Derwent has a maybe less scratchy feel, which I'm not sure how I feel about. Like, I think I prefer the scratchy feel of the Conte. It's just gonna be all in shadow, yeah. This is why I mean also by kind of wish I had just started off with the darker pencil. Well, I'm going over all my lines again, which is okay because I can clean it up. But you know, if I did it with the darker pencil first, we wouldn't have needed to as much. I would have been a bit clearer to work with. Again, just fill in your shapes, and you'll just slowly get that three-dimensional effect that we're looking for. Where are we heading to next? And you think I just need to fill in the rest of the head over here. Let's get that cheek in. I think I might connect these two shadow shapes a little bit. And there's a little gap, a little bit of a gap in them on the reference image, but I'll make the decision to connect them. I think it'll look better overall. I want to make sure I'm getting this jaw down as correct as I can. Know where I'm heading. See, this all connects actually with the neck. So how do I want to approach this big strato form? I want to keep it simple, knowing that this is actually reflected light over here. And do I want to make it so this is actually all just in darkness and leave the reflective light out? It might read better in my drawing, because then I'm kind of playing around with two, you know, if I have a light source here and here, it's fine I think when I'm painting, but maybe since I'm only using three different grades of pastel today, I might leave it out and just connect all this area up in shadow. Might be the way to go about it. We'll do it. Might be able to change it a bit later if we want to. I think I messed up this shape a little bit earlier. I didn't. The ear should be down here, shouldn't it? So that means I think this is still okay up here. Maybe a little bit more down, and then in this way. Yeah. Again, still just gonna pop all these forms together so it can read a bit better for me. Oh, I need to hold this paper before I push it away. Also, got to be worried about my hand shading the pastel or blending in the pastel as I work. Might just define this eye a little bit more before I continue on, because I'd be afraid of losing it later. I'm not afraid, but you know, I've already put in the work, so let's keep it there. Again, just grouping all the shapes into the eye. Don't need to worry about pupils and all this sort of stuff yet. So that's the nostril, it must be up here. Actually, I can feel this pastel falling out of this pencil soon. It feels a little bit wobbly. So it must have broken at some point during the transport process into the shop. Or someone was playing around with it in the shop that I bought it, and it must have fallen on the ground. Where am I going? There's only a little bit of darkness in the eye this side, so let's pop that in just so I don't lose it as well. I think I'm okay with the placement. It's not too bad, is it? Just wrapping around that way. Up into the eyebrow up here, yeah. And there's quite a gap between here and here, isn't there? Yeah, okay, that's okay. I'm alright with that. Where are we going next? How am I going to handle the hair? Maybe I'll just group it onto a large mass for now. And then need to find the other side of that. What's the gap between there? About here. Just gonna continue filling in my shadow shapes. Might need to do something with this chin later, but we'll see when we get there. And then where does this? You can see his trapezius in the background. I don't have to worry about it too much on this drawing. I think I might have messed up around here, did I? Something's going on a bit funky. Yeah, it's not as bad as it was. Just kind of gonna get in the shape of that ear properly. Now I can see what I'm doing a little bit more now that I went in with that dark pencil. How am I thinking about these proportions? Not too bad. Am I gonna maybe do that? Okay, maybe we should try coming in with a different pencil now. I'll make sure all my darks are like similar value before I continue it. I don't want any like blotchy blotchy bits. And I could come in and blend, I suppose, but I want to save that to maybe to the end, because I'm not sure if I really want to do that or just, keep it a bit sketchy. Okay. We'll come in with our blue pencil, which is what we're starting off with. I'm going to treat that as the mid-tones, I think. See how we get on with that. That way there'll be a bit of blending, or a bit of soft edges we can pop in there. Can be a bit looser with it. Now that I have my drawing down, I don't have to be as careful about things. Now I want to actually treat this not as my super lights like you can see around here, and there's like really highlights there. I'll leave the highlights to the other pencil, but this needs to be my mid-tones, which is really just going to be my transition between dark and light. There's quite a bit of it over here. I'm gonna, again, while I'm sketching, I'm still trying to go with the form as much as I can. Okay, how am I feeling about this before I continue on to the lights? So nice, once you got the drawing down, you can really just start playing around. How are we feeling about all this? I think the head might go up a little bit more, eh? Fits a bit better. harder edge there as well. Now, how dark can I actually go with this blue? Like, can I go darker than I did there? I think I can. Maybe we can bring this into the softer edges a little bit more too. Apologies if I'm not speaking as much as I usually do. I do actually have a sore throat today. But we will push on. Okay, actually I'll get some down on the body as well, just to have it there. Right, now that we have that down, let us... I think this pencil is going to be too... Yeah, this pencil looks exactly like the ground I'm working on. This isn't too much better, but we'll still use that as a highlights. It's not going down too well, maybe it's just because of the paper. But we'll make it work. We'll just have to put pressure down. Bit difficult to work with. We will persevere. And I'm not trying to get the exact shapes of the highlights that I'm putting down, I'm kind of just getting the idea of them down. And I can use direction to help me with that. Alright, I'll come back in with my blue now. I just want to soften some more edges before I finish up. And I might even come in with the darker colour again and see if we can do anything there. Because now the darker colour isn't looking so dark compared to that blue because I put so much pressure on it. Right, let's get our darker pastel and just work in where we were going. Put a bit more pressure down. Some areas we want highlighted or just maybe aren't popping out as much as I want them to. Like this cast shadow should be very clear. And all the same value for the most part. Same underneath the brow. But I suppose we could use the not so dark that we put down as our reflective light now. Which is always good. Another bit of depth into our drawing. So I am running out of dark and I might need to sharpen this soon, but sharpening this scares me because it breaks all the time. I'm not going to go too detailed with it here, I'll just put an idea of it. Okay, right, how do I feel about that before I call it done? Just gonna take a step back and have a good look at it. Definitely want to fix over here, this looks too light now. Can I use my eraser at all to move some things around? No, I think that's just gonna blend it, isn't it? No, not too bad overall. I'm not mad at the drawing. I'm not mad at all. I could do a bit more blue here. Yeah, it can be fun to also just try some different colours I'm not used to. Anything I want to change before I call it quits? Can I actually use this as like a... not another highlight, but a lighter tone? No, I suppose I've already got the paper doing that, so I don't need to go in with this. Yeah. Okay, I'll leave it where it is. I'm happy enough with this. Thanks for joining me, everybody.